This is a pretty cool build because it was a brand new 2012 engine that we did in 2011.
0 to 60 was, probably 6 seconds or so on flat ground.
Hey folks, Ryan Wilson here from Predator Inc. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Today, I've got a really cool build. This is a 2008 H2 Hummer with an Lml Duramax diesel engine. That's pretty unique because of the amount of electronics that are involved in the Lml, and specifically it has DEF. What DEF is diesel exhaust fluid, and that is used for the emissions for all newer vehicles. Pretty much all diesel engines are using DEF fluid at some level. In this truck, it was a huge challenge because the truck never came with a Duramax diesel engine. It wasn't engineered for that, but we got it in there, and we've got the DEF system in there. We've got the factory tank in there, plumbed in properly, and I'm gonna show you how that's plumbed in. Pretty cool, something that GM never did. They should be doing. Even to date, they're putting the DEF fluid fill neck in the wrong place, literally underneath the hood, which makes absolutely no sense at all. This is a pretty cool build because it was a brand new 2012 engine that we did in 2011. So it just came out. It was a model 2012 Lml engine, and we put it in late 2011 into this 2008 H2, if you're still following me, because I'm not sure if I am. But it's absolutely beautiful. This is the up-to-date H2. It has a newer interior, so this is kind of the one to have in my opinion. The newer interior is just flawless. It's absolutely beautiful. It kind of has a timeless look to it, where the older one I think is a little bit more dated. We'll jump inside, take it for a ride in a little bit. But on the outside of the truck, it looks factory fit and finish here. You can't really tell that there's anything underneath the hood that's special. However, there is. So let's go ahead and pop the hood open and we'll take a look underneath the hood. As you can see, this fitment is extremely tight. And one of the biggest hurdles that we had was with this oversized cooling fan. What we have over here is the factory fan. It is just massive. They made a big jump in the overall size of the fan. So that was difficult to get it fitted in here properly. And so you're retaining the entire fan clutch system, all that stuff is all OEM off the Lml in 2011, 2012. And the other cool thing about it is the cooling stack is not compromised. That cooling stack is it's fairly modified factory coolers. So Radiator and Intercooler off of the Duramax truck needed a lot of modifications to fit, but the overall capacity is still the same. So a lot of work went into it, a lot of engineering to make it fit, and specifically to make it fit inside this area right up here, which is a little difficult to do, but we were able to do that very well. Very clean installation. On this Lml conversion, we have a brand new factory Lml engine from General Motors. And what happens is there's a few motors every year that are released through a couple channels, and extremely hard to get complete, but we were able to get this one complete, brand spanking new for this customer. Just an absolutely beautiful engine. If you take a look at this thing, we're looking at like, 9 years later, this thing still looks brand new. So it puts out about 400 horsepower, 800 foot-pounds of torque without any tuning, so just a massive amount of torque. You can definitely tune them up and easily get 600 horsepower, 1200 foot-pounds of torque, easy to do. However, on this truck, we're all pretty much bone stock on it, and it's just an awesome runner. Now, something to take into consideration here is you can't really compare this to a gasser. The gas 6.2 liter engine that was in here, I think that one produced around 380 horsepower and comparable numbers for torque. But on this one, we're about double the torque. So there's a difference between horsepower and torque. Typically, cars want a lot of horsepower. Big trucks, they want a lot of torque. And that's the pushing power, or that pulling force that this truck develops, that the 6.2 gasser engine will never be able to accomplish. 0 to 60 was, probably 6 seconds or so on flat ground. It'd be about the same going up at 20% grade. So huge difference there. That's where torque is really important, especially on this truck. As a highway cruiser, you're going across the Rockies, I mean, you set cruise control at 85, 90 miles an hour, it's not gonna be phased. RPM's gonna increase very slightly, but it's not gonna be downshifting like crazy in a gasser. So those are some of the big factors. Plus, you're gonna get 500,000 miles to 1,000,000 miles out of this engine before you have any problems at all, if you do. And gasser, it's just not as heavy duty as this engine. Also, fuel economy, there's no comparison. The 6.2 probably getting around, say 13 miles per gallon or so, 14, something like that, where this thing is comparable speed is going to be pushing 18 to 20. So 18 to 20 miles per gallon. If this is going to be kind of a lifetime vehicle, the Duramax is hands down, no questions asked, the best way to go. So one of the things I'd mentioned was General Motors has always done something, in my opinion, completely wrong, which is they mount their DEF fluid fill neck somewhere up in here inside the engine bay. So for all those Chevy trucks out there, you got to pop the hood, get in here and dump DEF fluid in this little filler, and then it subsequently gets all over the engine. It's just a mess. So what we did was we mounted it where it should have been from the factory, back in the filler neck. So let's go back there and take a look at that. So this is one of my pet peeves with the GM truck, is that I got to pop open the hood to get to the fill neck. Look at this guy right here. Nice and tight in there, but you've got the DEF fuel filler right there. I shouldn't say fuel because it's not fuel, but the DEF fluid fill is right here. So at least it contains all of the mess in this area here, and it has a drain at the bottom. So it works out really well. You've got your diesel fuel fill as well as a DEF fill location in one area, a lot like Ford. So Ford did it right. We've got it in one location, and that's what we did here. Then on top of that, we utilized the factory DEF tank. So it has a factory DEF tank, the factory sensors on there, the factory wire harness, and all of that is custom mounted underneath the truck. And it's a perfect location where the air ride suspension goes on some of the air ride equipped trucks. Non-equipped trucks, fits in there perfect. Air ride equipped trucks, we do something a little bit different, modify, kind of separate the two out and give a little, open up the space there as opposed to just centrally located in the air compressor. I also want to show you the inside, so let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. I want to show you this black on cognac interior. It has a very classy look to it that I think another 10 years, 20 years from now, it's not going to look really dated, although I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in the automotive world in 20 years from now. But for right now, it's just really clean. You've got a lot of brushed stainless look here that's integrated in the steering wheel, on the dash as well, but it has a lot of symmetry too, that has that stainless dash piece that kind of runs across, and it integrates the center console area as well, the shifter. It just looks really nice overall, and I think it looks good with that two-tone cognac interior. I don't think it's too far over the top on this truck, so it really, really plays out well. And keeping in mind too, this truck is 12 years old. So 2008, that was a while ago. We did the truck, we built up the truck when it was like a year and a half old, 2 years old, something like that. And he's been driving it around for the last 9 years or so. Jumping up inside here, really functions well with the Duramax conversion. So if you look at this, you don't have any extra switches that would be, you know, associated with the Duramax conversion. You have this switch here, which has been changed out to 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. You got 4 high, 4 low, but it has the same factory fit and finish that the original H2 had, except the original H2 had just the high and the low. It was all-wheel drive. So you weren't coming out into 2-wheel drive. So now you can get into 2-wheel drive with this truck. So that's gonna help out a little bit with fuel economy. It is also around 17, 18 miles per gallon, which is really good for something this big, this safe. I could have my entire family in here and just feel comfortable that they're safe as well. And I'm getting pretty good fuel economy. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits with doing the conversion, especially on such a nice vehicle. So if you're thinking about an H2, definitely consider the 2008 model, 2009, with this newer interior. I really dig it. Now, a lot of people, it's all personal preference. I really dig this interior. Some people don't. Some people like the original interior, which does look really cool, kind of like space age at the time and kind of futuristic, and it still looks good. But I think that this lends itself to more of a timeless look, especially with the trucks that are being dated now after, you know, being 12 years out of production or so, 11 years out of production. So yeah, overall, just amazing truck. I think we should probably get this thing out on the road. This thing is just absolutely amazing. You get this thing on the road, I mean, it's so smooth, so quiet. There's no comparison to the old gas engine in here. This Duramax engine runs so smooth at higher speeds. You get out on the open road, this would be like the ideal vehicle for like cross-country travel. Like literally, like really the only like vehicle that I would consider amazing to go across country would be like some big Rolls Royce or Bentley or something like that. Just an awesome like highway cruiser doing, you know, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour on the highway, open highway, as long as it's legal in that state. But this would be another one. This thing is just so comfortable with these seats, the layout. But getting back to the Duramax engine in here, the RPM is dropped considerably. So instead of running this thing at like 3,500 RPM, you're running it around 1,800 RPM on the open highway, especially with that 6-speed Allison trans. It's just an awesome performer. I mean, like getting into it, it's just going. So with the conversion, you obviously get the 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive transfer case in here. Completely factory look, fit and finish. Take a look at this, Jason, down here. There's no like aftermarket switches or anything like that. It's fully programmed and fully integrated to the conversion. Also the dash, there's no weird lights on. It's not hacked apart or modified. This thing just as if it came off of manufacturing floor with the Duramax engine in there. It's got the correct tack in here. It's just absolutely beautiful. This thing is fit and finish. This is probably one of the cleanest H2s out there. And what's cool about it is going back to the LML engine that's in here. That is a huge feat because of all the computer systems that are running it, all of the technology that's in there running the DEF system, which is a diesel exhaust fluid, which is now mandated by CARB and EPA as well to meet emission standards for this year. So the 2008 H2 Hummer had to meet at least the minimum standards of a 2008 Duramax engine. So that required the DEF fluid system, which is, it actually worked out really well in this truck. We have the factory DEF tank in the back of the truck. All the lines, everything. It's not like some type of aftermarket standalone system that's fooling computers. Anytime you get into that type of stuff where you're trying to trick computers to function properly, you're gonna run into some inherent problems and they're just not gonna operate properly. So with all the factory stuff in here, all we have to do now is go in there and do the proper programming and make sure that the communications are set up to read and analyze the DEF tank level and all that stuff. Come on. Friggin' people on their cell phones, like really? Dude, you just, frustrating. So anyways, I mean, this is the truck that I would get into with my family and do a cross-country road trip. No question at all. This is just such a smooth vehicle. I love the chairs in here, or the seats in here. They're just massive, really comfortable. They just nailed it with this interior. This interior is much nicer than the older H2s, in my opinion. A lot more comfortable, cleaner layout, just a cleaner design, I guess you'd say. You also have a completely useless clock right in the center of the dash. Check it out. Completely useless. So in case this, go back over here. In case that one didn't work, you got your backup up here, or maybe that's the main one and that's a backup. I don't know. Maybe they just needed to fill a spot. That's probably the goofiest thing on this truck, is that factory clock, which is kind of weird.
That's reminiscence of older time.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was from the original H1.
Yeah, so yeah, good point. Maybe that's what they're trying to do there, because the original H1 Hummer had a goofy clock there next to the CTIS. Jason's wrong, I'm right. Long story short. 2008 H2 Hummer. Absolutely amazing vehicle, super smooth, great everyday driver or cross-country vehicle. This is the vehicle that should have come off of the Hummer production line. Unfortunately it didn't, but we made it happen. So this is the LML engine in here, full DEF system, full CARB compliant, California compliant, full emissions on here, just amazing vehicle. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough and the drive with it today. And this thing is leaving today to go back up to Oregon with the customer. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Oh yeah, I forgot. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, notification bell. Is that what it is?
Bell.
All right, yeah.
Where's
and
that?
Then it's down below somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere down here. Okay, you get
Down
the
there?
bell down there. I got
down there.
Got the bell down here. The subscription button down there. Hit them both, and then you'll get the updates when we drop new vlogs. So thanks for watching, folks.